Death, aka fall, is in the air today out here in New Hampshire, trying to get some foliage but also trying to get some running and hiking in. Today going to be hiking what I'm just going to call the Mount Moosilauke loop. I'll show you a map here of what we'll be doing, but essentially tagging one of the 4,000 footers as like the main goal, but also I think 3 more sub summits along the way. For a full guide on this one, you can check the link in the description below. Typically when I come back home to New Hampshire, I just become a fat piece of shit for about the length of time I'm here, which this trip is no different. I am going to be trying to run this today as much as possible so that I can become maybe like plus 5,000 in the amount of calories I've eaten instead of plus like 7. To be fully honest, besides the trails and the mileage and like the stats and stuff, I really don't know what to expect in terms of runnable terrain today. If I've learned anything from doing things like the Pemi and the Prezi, yes, sometimes the stats look runnable, but once you're on some of these trails in New Hampshire, bro. Even though I'm from New Hampshire, I know a lot of my audience is not from here. Let me introduce myself quickly, talk about the channel. My name is Mickey. I do virtual trail guides and basically try to make all of these hikes, trail runs, etc. just more accessible and straightforward for people. Hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss future hike content, and poke around the channel. I have a ton of stuff from New England, obviously based in Colorado now, so a ton of stuff there too, but really all around the country. Just about 3¼ miles in here, 1,500 feet of gain. First summit of the day is Mount Jim, which is an absolutely electric name for a peak. We're going to be hitting that soon, and I'm sure it's going to be a green top. Mount Jim with the electric summit views here. I don't know if this is counted as an official 4,000 footer, but if it is, it's another one done for me. Not that I'm trying to check them off, because I have no idea how many I've done. All right, on to the next peak here, which I think is Mount Blue. All right, pretty cool. Hopping on the Appalachian Trail right now. Gonna head south here. Just about 4.65 miles in here. A little social trail on the right. We're gonna tag summit of Mount Blue. It's definitely going to be a green top, but why not? We're right here. I'm pretty sure this is not a real summit because there's nothing. There's no cairn, there's no sign. I think this is the summit of Mount Blue. So we're going to head back to the AT and then continue on to the main goal of this hike, which is Mount Moosilauke. Left at this intersection here, and now you're under half mile from the summit of Moosilauke. Basically on the summit now in the most New Hampshire fashion ever. Every single person up here is like sitting directly on the summit, but stat wise 6 miles, 2,700 feet of gain to the summit, and yeah, really good views that you'll be seeing now.
This is so cool.
Leaving Moosilauke here. Didn't spend much time on the summit. I have a lot more I kind of want to do today, and crowded up there, so just not really my scene. But now on to the next peak, South Peak, which is another 4,000 footer at like 45:30. If you didn't want to go down to South Peak, you didn't have to. You could just go down the main trail most people take up Moosilauke and it would shorten your day by quite a bit of miles, but you would lose out on tagging this 4,000 footer here. Cruiser. This is a pretty important intersection here because you have a like multi-way intersection. To get back to where you parked, you're going to take this left following Snapper Trail. If you do want to snag South Peak, it's well marked. It's this way. So we are going to go do that really quick here. Usually at the beginning of videos I ramble. I did in this one because I can't help that, but I usually just like rattle off a bunch of stats, and I'm really happy I didn't today because I thought this was going to be like a 13-14 mile day, 15 even. I would be shocked if it's 10. So for the once in maybe my entire life, I have overestimated how many miles I would be doing today. Yeah, I definitely recommend this loop. I would say that until I got to the summit of Moosilauke, I saw like 3 people, and it's prime leaf peeping fall hiking weekend day here in New Hampshire. Yeah, that was really nice to just have some nice running to myself. Just leaving South Moosilauke, South Peak. Slightly different views, better foliage in my opinion. I am saying this with peace and love, but I think I'm spoiled to Colorado's foliage. It's much, much, much brighter, at least this year, compared to New Hampshire. New Hampshire's is pretty much in peak right now, but the leaves are very muted in their colors. But headed down now, so we're gonna backtrack to that trail junction I showed you. Just about 7.25 miles in, and I think we have about 3, maybe 4 down to the parking lot. This is pretty much what the entire trail down has looked like so far. If you've been rocking with me for a minute, you know I don't usually show the way down. We are going a different way than the way up, so not a ton to show, but I am gonna at least bring you guys back to the car before wrapping this one up. Last trail junction of the day here. Gonna hop back the Snapper Trail, and got about 2 miles back to the trailhead. In terms of runnability, I would say for New Hampshire this is like a pretty excellent trail. Definitely pretty rocky and technical, like I've tried to been showing you guys a little bit. Quickly about dogs, definitely dog friendly hike. Just make sure you keep them on the leash in the alpine areas, and there are going to be a lot of dogs here, so yeah, I would recommend having a dog friendly dog. Basically back at the car trailhead area. Super chill day. About 10 miles, 2,900 feet of gain. Besides the summit, really quiet on the trails, which is really nice too. That's gonna wrap up my video here of Mount Moosilauke. For a full guide on this one, you can check the link in the description below. In terms of New Hampshire hikes, I don't know, this is fine. I definitely have ones I would recommend over this, but it's a good trail run, and it was nice to knock out some new 4,000 footers as well. Why am I talking like that? I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes I get into like my newscaster video voice. You can ignore it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next adventure.